This is the Luther monument, one of the biggest in the world. Frederick. Luther. Philip. Hus. Savonarola.
We know that from Wycliffe, Prague to John Huss.
Wycliffe, founder of Waldenses. Built in the 12th century. This is the bishop's palace that was built sometime later than the cathedral. Ludwig IV, obelisk.
Sorry.
We're in Eisenbeck now, at the Bach Museum. This is a statue of Bach. We were just inside and had a little concert. The chap played music on 4 or 5 different instruments, a little bit of Bach in each one. Very interesting. And the museum has a lot of information about Bach. This is the outside of the Bach Museum. There it is.
This house is the top there. Yeah.
St. George's Church. Marburg Castle. This is the scenery from the castle. Now in Erfurt.
Oh no. No, the right one is from Augustine.
That's the tower from the Augustinian monastery that we're going to be going through in a few minutes.
Sure, that's not
inside the cloister at the Augustinian monastery.
We're coming into the dormitory where the monks would have slept. They would have slept here on wooden pallets with straw mattresses, and in the middle of the room is a bell. The bell is there to remind us that life is a prayer. And then work, pray, work, pray, work, pray, all day long. I'll have a little break. Yeah? And that's the life of the monk. Actually, sometimes when they come to the chapter room, the monks go off and I do a funny little thing.
This is the guest house area. We're now at Buchenwald. This is the entrance to the Buchenwald camp. This is the crematorium. It's a tall smokestack. This marker is in commemoration of the British and Canadian soldiers who died here at Buchenwald. These are commemorative stones for various groups: Bulgarians, conscientious objectors, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals. This is supposedly the area where Luther was struck by lightning on his way back to Erfurt. Here's where he called on St. Anne that if he was saved, he would become a monk. July 2nd, 1505, calling out to St. Anne. This is the outside of our door at the hotel in Erfurt. Nice hotel. Had air conditioning last night. Didn't even get up once. Slept for about 8.5 hours. We're doing 11,000 steps per day at least. Now we're in Eisleben. This is the birthplace of Luther and also where he died. Luther's dad was in the mining industry. They mined for copper. These are some of the carts that they used in illustration of how to get the copper out of the mine. This plaque commemorates the church where Martin Luther was baptized. This is the Burgershaus of Martin Luther. This is St. Andrew's Church. This is where Luther preached his last sermons, about 4 sermons here before he died in this town. This is the entrance to a museum about Luther. Excellent museum talking about what his original beliefs were concerning purgatory and limbo and all of that, and finally ending up with what he finally believed. We're now in the town of Halle. This is the birthplace of Handel. One thing I noticed here, that the tram cars go right against, almost against the sidewalk. You got to watch it. The marketplace. They all have them here in Germany. Here we are at the 4:15. This is Handel's church. Luther also preached here. It's quite a pulpit there, isn't it? And with all those angels on top, you sure should have a good sermon. Luther's death mask. The Handel Museum, where they have a lot of the instruments that were connected with Handel inside. Wide variety of flutes. We have arrived in Leipzig. This is St. Thomas Church. And this is the Sidewalk Cafe alongside the St. Thomas Church. Can't get far enough back to get the full picture, so we'll just have to scan around a little bit. Whoa! This is the train station. You have to take a picture of the train station. We're now in Torgau. The church that we're going to is where Luther's wife was buried. Probably the town hall. Don't know. The guide hadn't told us.
That's the bears.
Oh, trippies.
We're now inside the castle. This was the headquarters for the Saxony electors. Frederick was one of them that protected Luther. This is the castle church. Declared to be Lutheran by Luther in about 1543. Jesus getting rid of the money changers. Jesus in the temple talking to the elders. When he was 12. Jesus and the adulterers. This is St. Mary's Church. Luther's wife, Katharina, is buried in here.
We were craving the tea from the...
We're now in Wittenberg, Saturday morning.
I was in the army.
10 Commandments.
The right way of following the 10 Commandments. But the problem was, before only 10% of the people here in Wittenberg could read. So he used the picture language. And I would like to show you how you can read this commandment too. They had
The lecture hall in the monastery.
and then the other one could argue. And
These 7 circles represent the 7 areas that they studied, like the scriptures, philosophy, mathematics. Can't remember the other 4. This is the living room of the quarters for the Luthers. They had 6 children. That's a nice heater in the corner. Quite wealthy. We're going towards the market church. I don't know if that's the market church or not. We'll find out. This is the Market Church Tower. That's Luther on the left side. This is the Castle Church. Now we are in Berlin, and this used to be the headquarters of the palace of the Prussian people, at least their summer home or something like that. It was demolished during World War II and has been rebuilt. That's our guide and Ruth and Jenna. I understand this is Frederick, King of Prussia.
All original Berlin Wall.
Wall from the east side.
The reunion, and so they need to pump up water. So
Catholic, 15 times in the last 20 years. The people of West Berlin walked.
This is the Wall of Terror, 1933 to 1945. It's telling all about the reign of Hitler. This building that has been made into a museum was the actual spot of the Gestapo headquarters. Government buildings are surrounding in different streets. Some of the weary travelers there.
feeling, and some interpretation also that the gray of the stones is like the ashes from the concentration camps. And there's different interpretations, but the artist...
the Holocaust Museum. I think this is the Pergamum Museum. We're going to tour it anyway. This may be the Lutheran Church in Berlin. Don't know. We're right opposite the Pergamon Museum. Well, this is the Pergamon Museum. I'll find out what these statues are. Mercury and the Psyche. This is a replica of some of the architecture in Miletus.
Here, where they are standing all the stones, the stelae with the doors of